In this video, we will be replacing the front window regulator motors in this 2008 Hyundai Elantra. This video is broken up into two parts. The first part, we will replace the passenger side window regulator motor. The second part, we will replace the driver's side window regulator motor. Taking a look on the inside of our passenger side door, we are going to focus our attention in two areas. The first is the door latch handle. The second is the door hold handle, where you might put your hand to close the door. On our door handle, we have a small plastic square cover piece. Using a small flathead standard screwdriver, we can pop that open. Taking a look on our door hold location, where you would grab that door to close it, we also see a small square plastic cover piece. This one can be removed in the same fashion with a small flathead standard screwdriver. We can then remove the two Phillips head screws that are underneath those cover pieces. We're now going to shift our focus to the bottom left corner of the door panel, and we are looking for a small indentation between the door panel and the metal door frame. And using a trim removal tool, we can work our way around the door, gently releasing the door clips by prying that door panel out. And we will continue working our way around the door. With that door panel loose, we can see that we have popped loose our door latch trim piece. Now, it is not absolutely necessary to remove the triangle speaker trim piece. We can work the door panel around that piece without having to remove it. We do have one wiring harness still connected to that door panel. There's a small white tab that needs to be depressed, and then we can wiggle that free. Taking a look inside our door, we want to locate the window regulator motor. This is located right towards the center of the door. This is secured by 3 T20 Torx screws and a wiring harness. Now, I do want to mention that sometimes if you are having problems with these and you need a quick temporary fix, you can gently tap the unit with a hammer and it will get things working again. On our wiring harness connection, we have some small retaining tabs. We're going to squeeze the side of our connector and wiggle it off. And we can then remove our 3 T20 Torx head screws. And we can then wiggle that unit out. I always like to compare my new part with my old part, just to make sure that they look about the same, all the screw holes will line up, and that they look like they're the same part. And we'll add just a little bit of a silicone-based grease to the teeth of the gears on our new unit, and we'll slide that new unit in place. Reinstall those 3 T20 Torx head screws and reconnect our wiring harness. Now, at this point, I'm going to connect the wiring harness for my door panel, and I'm going to test the motor just to make sure everything works before I put everything back together. And everything seems to be working very nicely. So I'm going to reinstall the door panel, making sure each of those clips get seated. Reinstall our trim piece. And our screw for our latch. As well as that last screw where we would grab onto the door to close it. Taking a look at our driver's side door panel, we want to first focus on our latch location as well as our hand grip location where you would grab the door to close it. At our latch location, we have a small square plastic cover piece. Using a real small flathead standard screwdriver, we can reveal the screw behind it and remove that screw. And we can go ahead and remove that door latch trim piece as well. Our door handle grab location where you would grab to close the door. We also have a small square plastic cover piece. We can again use a very small flat head standard screwdriver to reveal our screw behind it. And we can remove that screw as well. We next want to focus our attention to the bottom right corner of our door panel, a little bit underneath, and we are looking for a small slot where we can fit a trim removal tool in, and we can gently work that tool around, prying off that door panel. Now, it is not absolutely necessary that we remove that corner triangle trim piece for our speaker. We can work that door panel around that component. Now, although we have several connection points to our door panel, we technically don't need to remove those. I did show that on the passenger side door where we remove those wiring harnesses to take the whole door panel off. We can actually get into the motor without needing to fully remove that door panel. And much like the passenger side, we have 3 T20 Torx head screws as well as a wiring harness. These are removed in the exact same fashion as the passenger side. And again, we are always wanting to compare components from our old to our new, just to make sure that they look about the same, the holes will line up, and any other unique characteristic matches. Now, one difference I do see is we have a black gear versus a white plastic gear. They look the same aside from the color. So we'll go ahead and install our new one. So we will go ahead and apply a little grease and reinstall it on our vehicle. Reassembly is reverse of disassembly. We can install our motor, followed by our T20 Torx head screws. Followed by our wiring harness. And we can work that door panel back on. Finish it up with our door latch trim piece and our couple screws. And one final test to make sure everything works properly. And everything looks good.